Tyler, so great to meet you. How are things going with you?
Things are going pretty well. Things are going pretty well. I'm excited for the festival. I'm gonna be down there on Friday, so my T minus 48 hours.
Yeah,
So just counting down, just getting ready. Just
good
come my
stuff.
first interviews.
Well,
Very
good.
nervous.
Listen, I'll be gentle, I promise. You did such a good job in this film, and it's so interesting. It brings up a lot of questions. I just had the opportunity 2 minutes ago to speak with Kate. She's so lovely, so we'll talk about her in a few minutes. But for you, this character that you played, the traveler, he's very mysterious.
Very.
Even by his look and everything. Tell me, when you got this script in your hands, what was it that kind of spoke to you and I thought, I gotta do this?
So I've always been such a sci-fi person, just like even from being young, like Star Wars, Star Trek. I've always just been interested in just space in general, like always like Cosmos. I watch the Cosmos a lot. Like that's what I
Sure.
watch when I go to sleep. So just always having an interest in just space and stars. Like when I read the script, I was like, well, at first I was like, what is going on? Because at first I didn't even know how to approach the character, because it's like, how do you really approach, something that knows everything, but is also learning at the same time?
Right.
And I guess that's really just what I try to embody through the characters, just showing that, yeah, he's this all-knowing, the being, he knows like his eyes are literally the galaxy, the stars. But at
Yeah,
the same time, it's also like he still doesn't know anything.
exactly.
So I guess having that really weird contradictory of like, oh, I know everything. Oh, what is this?
Yeah,
That like childlike interest, but also people looking at you be like, oh, well, he has to know what this is. So I guess that's kind of how I looked at it. And that's why it was so intriguing, because it was kind of just like living in this, weird dichotomy for the whole film.
right. And yeah, so I'm wondering, like, did the director allow you to just kind of develop where he went, give you that kind of freedom?
Yeah, so me and Kirby, we talked a lot. We met up a lot of times before we started shooting, and we both, laid groundwork on like where he thought the character was, like what he, I guess, would want to see. And I also just told him like how I'd approach it. And I guess through those meetings and
Hmm.
me trying to shape the character through, I guess, a lot of, things that like I was thinking how it will play out good on the screen, we just kind of came to this point where it's like, okay, well, when we first start, let's just see how it goes.
Right,
And
right.
just first starting off, in those scenes and I'm not spoiling anybody, got spoiler, but like, those scenes in the cave
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that, just
yeah.
showing that, you know, I could just be this very mysterious person, this all-knowing person, but also just be helpless at the same time. So it was, as I said, just embodying it's such a weird thing to like be so powerful, but also be so helpless.
Exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. It really is interesting. And
Mhm.
then, of course, he meets up with this young girl who finds
Yeah.
him in the cage, August, and who her character, Kate's character, August,
Mhm.
is like, she has the weight of the world on her
The
shoulders. Like,
weight of the world.
there's so much going on in her life. And I asked her this question, so I'm going to ask you, why do you think you guys are drawn to each other?
In the film, I think August is, I wouldn't say necessarily looking for an escape, but I do feel like her character is looking for, I would say, not to say like her character is not purposeless during the film or like before she meets the being, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of what's happening in the beginning of the film that leads her to find the being and helping him and going on this amazing journey is that she's trying to, I guess, find like what's going to get her to this next step. Because I think a lot of it in the beginning of the film is just her going through this, going through that.
Yeah, for sure.
And when she meets the being or she meets that person, and I don't even think it necessarily had to be the being, but I feel like her character in general was just searching for, okay, what's next? Because everything was kind of just weighing her down. But when she
Mhm.
meets the being, it's like, okay, this is a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like because I just feel like, you know, she's going through stuff with her family, her
Right.
sister's boyfriend. So when she meets the being, okay, this is like a purpose that I can actually just, you know,
Yeah.
make my own
Right.
essentially.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a nice relationship actually, because
Mhm.
it's interesting how it develops. And tell me a little bit about working with Kate, because obviously your scenes are mostly with her. To me, like, she's just such an inspiration, honestly. What was it like to work with her and meet her? Because it's her first film too. My
Her
goodness. Wow.
first film,
Yeah.
yeah. So I call her Kate the Great.
That
So,
fits.
but working with Kate, man, she's amazing. As I said, when we first, because at first, originally she's from New York. I'm here in Atlanta, so I didn't need to go anywhere for shooting. So I was originally going to try to go up to New York before we even started shooting, just to hang out. You know, I guess get some coffee, just, you know, the usual New York
Yeah.
stuff. Um, so that didn't happen. But when she came down here, we did meet up, and just as soon as I met her, you know, she was like, "Yeah, this is my first film." I was like, "Oh wow, like, are you nervous? Like, what are the nerves like? You're in front of a whole team. Like, is anything good against you?" She's like, "Oh, okay, nah, I'm good." Like, I was like,
Yeah.
"What?" I was like, "Huh? You're good?" She's like, "Yeah, it's cool. Like, let's do it." So
Wow.
yeah, she was just ready. You know, first take, and it was just really just inspiring, as you said. Like, her story is inspiring. What she continues to do is so amazing as well.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, she's cool people.
Yeah, and she's in
Really.
college now. About like she's
Yeah.
wow, good on her. She's a very amazing role model
Hmm.
for young people out there. There's no question about it. So you know you're being from Atlanta. Were you familiar with this area, the Spaghetti Junction? Because this whole weaving highway, it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
So so Spaghetti Junction, I don't know how familiar you are with Atlanta, but it's more like north of Atlanta. So
Yeah.
I grew up more on the south side.
Okay.
So, but of course, like, I've seen it. The traffic's always bad.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so the traffic's always bad. So I've seen it before, but I was never really, I guess, in the area a lot, you know, to say the least, because I kind of just went from south of Atlanta to like just downtown, and I never really went more up north. So really getting to shoot around the area, getting to meet a lot of people, getting to shoot inside of a lot of like local stores, which we did, a lot of like mom and pop owned places, to actually see the people who really grew up in this area, was really nice.
Nice. Yeah.
And you know, it actually just showed me that there's just so much more to the city that I hadn't even experienced.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. So what's next for you? Like you now with COVID's, people are lifting their
Yeah,
restrictions and things like that. Do you have something that's going to be coming up or working on something next?
yeah. So I've actually stepped back into the theater. I
Good.
am doing a production, currently auditioning just with a lot of theaters. Alliance Theater is here in Atlanta. You have like Shakespeare's Tavern, and then I also have some films. So I guess just kind of getting back into the space, because, you know, with
Yeah,
COVID, everything was just
no kidding, right?
so up in the air, so crazy. But now I feel like I'm just finally getting back. You know, creative juices are flowing again, and everything's starting to open up again. So I'm just really happy about the opportunities that are just presenting themselves.
Well, good stuff. Well, you're a talented young man and lovely
Thank
to
you.
talk to. And I really do appreciate your time today. Best of luck at the festival. Have a good time and enjoy. And you did a great job in the film. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate it. Thank you
You're
so much.
very welcome. Stay safe.
Okay,
Take
I
care.
will. Have
Bye-bye.
a good one.
You too. Thank you.